Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. In today's video I'm going to be giving you my third update of my project pan for 2023. Now, if you don't know, here are my ground rules. I haven't stopped buying products. I am a shopaholic, I buy products all the time, but this is like my way of focusing on the things that don't get enough use, trying to use through things rather than picking a new product every single day. This is like the products that I use solidly or just on an everyday basis so that I can get through them, so that I can get rid of them. And also this year I have gone cruelty free. The only products that I'm buying this year are cruelty free, so I'm trying to get rid of everything out of my collection that isn't cruelty free. Therefore I'm trying to use it up. So the products that I have used up, because there are quite a few, are like brands that aren't cruelty free. I also have a few to swap in. A few of those again are brands that aren't cruelty free. So this isn't necessarily the typical sort of project because I haven't stopped buying, but this is my way of trying to focus a little bit more on the things that I have, try and just be a little bit more mindful of the products that I have and actually using them up, because I've got a lot and a lot of it doesn't get used half as much as it should. So that is my disclaimer. Let's get into the products that I've used up. So firstly, we've got an Empty foundation. This is the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. I have this in the shade Light. Love this foundation. Quite sad to see it go. Honestly, I've loved it. The colour is perfect for me. But NYX is owned by L'Oreal, therefore I won't repurchase. The same for the concealer. This is a great concealer. I wish NYX wasn't owned by L'Oreal so that I could repurchase it, because I absolutely love it. This is the Bear With Me Concealer Serum. I had this in the shade 01 Fair. An Empty. And that is that. I had two bronzers, both of which have substantial pans in them now, starting with the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Matte Bronzer. I have made significant progress on this one. This is a beautiful, like, warm bronzer. Again, I've been wearing it pretty much every single day. I am keeping this one in my project pan to try and get more of that product out because I love it so much. I also have this one that I have to be a little bit careful with because it broke. If you weren't here for, I think it was the last update, my husband hoovered in my room and this was sat on my table, and as he was hoovering, he hoovered into the table and this fell on the floor, so it did smash. I had to like repress it. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I don't think I would repurchase this. I have been backwards and forwards. Firstly, I don't think Physicians Formula are cruelty free. I can't remember, but that's not my reason. Well, it is my reason, but firstly, the scent of this is just so overpowering. A lot of people love it. I really don't love it. So that's my reason for not repurchasing it. I am currently taking this one out of my project pan going forwards. I'm going to keep it though. I'm going to keep it in my drawer and I'm going to try and work on it a little bit more, but I'm keeping the L'Oreal one in my rotation. Then for blush, I had this one, and this has been laying down, so I am very, very close to finishing this. It's the Fresh Face Cheek and Lip Tint from Barry M. This is in the shade Summer Rose. This is so lovely. Would absolutely repurchase this if I didn't have approximately 70 liquid blushes to get through before I even think about repurchasing any. So lovely and hydrating. If you've got dry skin, this is so beautiful. It gives a glow just from the amount of like hydration that it gives your skin. It's so pretty. It blends out so easily. Like, one of these products that you can just do mindlessly because, or like without a mirror, you know, you're in a rush and you're getting ready as you're running around the house. this is that sort of product for me because it's not too pigmented, it's just the right amount of pigmented. You can do it without looking, like just dab it on and you're good to go. And Barry M is firstly incredibly affordable and secondly cruelty free. So this is, I mean, I'm counting this as an empty, like there's barely no product left in there now, so I'm counting this as an empty. Then I had 2 mascaras in here. Both of these are not cruelty free and both of these are now empty. I had the Maybelline Lash Sensational and the L'Oreal Air Volume classics. Used through both of these, wouldn't repurchase because they're not cruelty free. Then I had 1 eyeliner product and then I finished this one and I added another 2. So this is the, juggling it, Barry M Double Dimension Double-Ended Shadow and Liner. The shadow end of this is absolutely garbage. If you're looking at this and you're thinking that's a really beautiful colour, that colour does not show up at all. I have not used the eyeshadow end of this. The liner end is beautiful though. Like if you're wanting a brown liquid liner that's cruelty free, this is a really, really great one. It lasts really, really nicely. It's got a brush tip, so it's really, really easy to apply. This is all like, I'm trying to make it not look so dry and awful because I have finished this up. It's just coming out really like dry now, so I think it's come to the end of its life. Yeah, really, really beautiful brown liquid liner. Big fan. Would repurchase if I was just wanting the liner. If you're wanting both, I wouldn't say it's worth it, but if you're just happy to use the liner side and forget about the eyeshadow, a really, really great one. And then the 2 that I added in were these 2. And I have feelings about these. They're not good feelings, but I did use these up. This is the Collection Fast Stroke Felt Eyeliner, and this is in brown. This dries up, like the actual nib of it dries up as you are applying it. It's not very pigmented. The pigment that you do get on there lasts well. I feel like it's a really dry formula. It like skips as you're drawing it on. I don't really recommend it. It's got great reviews on the Superdrug website though, so I'm like, is mine just dodgy? Either way, nothing is coming out of this one anymore. And then the 17 Eye Flicks pen in black, again, has really, really great reviews online. Another like felt tip pen, sort of a doodah. Sort of does the same thing. Skips, is quite dry, doesn't go over glitter, doesn't go over eyeshadow. Like this is all you have to be wearing on your lids. I used it up. It never really came out very black. I mean, a little bit, but it never really did very much for me. It almost stayed sticky. Like I would draw along my lash line and do a wing, and then as I open my eyes I would feel the liner sticking like my eyelid together. I don't recommend it. Very, very cheap. Incredibly cheap. There are better ones on the market for a very similar price point. Then, lip product. I put this lipstick in my project pan, and I can tell you exactly how many times I've used this. None. This is the Kiko Creamy lipstick. I don't know what it is about it. Just always feel like it's not the right shade. I always feel like I want something different. Either I want something darker than this and I want a red or like a plum, or I want something lighter than this that's a nude. This just almost sits in between where it's just not, I mean, it looks very similar to what I've got on right now, but almost like too pink for me. I just don't reach for it, which is a shame. I will give it to somebody who will use it more than I will. I just don't feel like that colour does anything for me, so I haven't used it. Even though it's been in my project pan and I've been determined to use all of these products, I've not used it, so that's a shame. Then I've got two more products in here. I've got the Physicians Formula Butter Blush. This is in natural glow. I don't use this as a blush. It's far too light. If you are incredibly fair, this could work for a blush. I use this as like a really soft highlight sort of a finish. I use my blush brush. This is how I use it. And I will apply some so that you can see. I take my blush brush, so after I've finished applying my blush, like so, I take this and I sort of pinch it together and I get some product on there, and then I sort of sweep it over the top of my cheeks to sort of glow up the blush that I've already got on. It doesn't have enough pink in it for it to be a blush just by itself for me and my skin tone and the amount of blush that I like to wear, but adding a little bit over the top to just, like I say, glow up any blush that I have on. I feel like this is not pink enough for me to be able to just use as a blush, but it's too pink for me to just use as a highlight. It's certainly too pink for me to use as a highlight down the centre of my face. It's almost just like a blush topper for me. That's sort of how I use it. That's how I sort of apply it. I like it. It's nice, but I feel like for the way that I like to do my makeup and the way that I like to use my products, I just feel like this is a little bit of a waste. I'm going to keep it in my project pan because there's so much product in here. Like, I am never going to finish it unless I focus on it, so I'm keeping this in. And then another one, I'm admitting defeat on this one. This is the Studio London You Do You face gloss. This is lip gloss pretending to be something that you can put on your face. I do not know why I bought this, honestly, and I am throwing it away today or decluttering it. I'm going to take it to one of those recycling centres in a Superdrug. It's just straight up petroleum jelly. Who's going to put that on their face? I've had this in, I've got a little box, I'll show you it in a sec. I have this in here to just use as a lip gloss. I've used it maybe a couple of times. I just don't reach for it, so it's being decluttered. So then moving on to the products that I am putting into the project pan, and I'm actually adding a whole new section. I don't think I have ever put I mean, I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't feel like I've ever had primers in my project pan before. I always feel like they're a little bit of an extra step. I always feel like it's not something that I reach for every day, but I've got so many of them now, like I need to be focusing on them. So I've picked two because these are both quite different. I've got the Relove H2O Hydrating Primer. Love this. If you've got dry skin, this is a beautiful one. I just feel like at this point I've had things in my collection for a little bit too long, and especially primers, I just need to be working through them. And then this one, which is quite different, this is the Revolution Super Base Vitamin Base Primer. I have dry skin and I feel like this is not drying, but it almost leaves like a powdery finish to my skin, which under a very hydrating, luminous, glowy foundation works really nicely, where I wouldn't use something like this under that sort of foundation. I would use something like the hydrating primer under more of a matte foundation and this under a hydrating one. So that's why I've got the two. They're quite different. They're both, I mean, the Relove one, sorry, is maybe about half full. It's only quite small though. How big is this? 12 millilitres. And then the Revolution Super Base I've only used a couple of times. That's still really full. So I definitely want to see quite a bit of progress on those two. Then foundation. I feel like this is the foundation that I'm putting in, but I have to note, I was hoping to be filming this update a little bit earlier in the summer. This is the no, it's not. It's L'Oreal. I've been here for hours. The L'Oreal Age Perfect BB Cover Foundation. This was my favourite foundation of last year, but I'm wanting to get rid of everything L'Oreal out of my collection, so this has got to go. The reason I say that I was hoping to film this video earlier in the summer was this is very much a summer shade for me. This is the lightest shade that they do, and it is like darker than my skin tone currently, and I'm fake tanned at the minute, I know, but this is a really beautiful foundation and I really like it. But L'Oreal, it's gotta go. I am like a considerable amount through this product. I would say I'm maybe about halfway through it. I will have to at some point start mixing this. I have been mixing this with the Lottie London skin tint because they're similar in consistency, but the Lottie London one is way too fair for me and this is way too dark, so mixing them together I can get the right sort of colour, and it does last really well that way. So hoping again to make a lot of progress on this one, and I will probably make a lot of progress on the other products that I'm not putting into my project pan because I like it, the Lottie London skin tint, which I'm gonna have to mix into this. For bronzer, like I say, I'm keeping this one in my collection, the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear Matte Bronzer. I'm keeping this in my project pan to try and get that pan a little bit bigger, but I'm also adding this one. I feel like this is a very Revolution heavy project pan, but never mind. This is the Revolution Pro Goddess Glow Cream Contour and Bronze. This is in the light shade. I don't love this, but I'm determined to use it up. I feel like it's a little bit of an odd colour, but it would probably be okay under that L'Oreal bronzer. I just feel like it's one of those that's got quite a lot of hype online and I just don't really see it. I don't love it, but I'm determined to use it up, and it's probably one of the oldest cream bronzers that I've got in my collection now. So adding that one in, also adding in this blush. This is the e.l.f. Putty blush in the shade Tahiti, and this has a sizable dint in it, but I feel like coming into autumn, I have sort of had autumn in mind with all of these products coming into autumn. This is definitely a shade that I'm going to use more, and one that I feel like I can get quite a lot of use out of. I completely forgot to do concealer whilst I was talking about base products just then. This is the Revolution Fast Base Concealer in C 0.5. This I'm nearly out of, so I am going to have to pick another concealer at some point, but I'm going to focus on this one for now. It's got the little sponge tip. It's so like dirty and really like, I don't know, I don't love it. Is it what I'm wearing today? I think it might be. I've literally just done my makeup. This whole look will be coming soon, just so you know. I think this is the concealer that I put on. Honestly, it was like 20 minutes ago. Wow. I just feel like, again, it's probably one of the oldest ones in my collection and I want to get it used up. Then for brows, I always put brow products in just so that I can, if I wanted to, just do a full face of my project pan if I just don't want to think about what I'm wearing. The XX Revolution Faux Brow, which is like a larger tipped pencil for doing incredibly quick, incredibly easy brows, and also the Body Collection Micro Brow Pencil if I just need a little bit of help with like doing a few little hair-like strokes. Putting both of these in, again, because they've been in my collection for quite some time. And then I don't generally pick eye products, and I'm not going to be picking a lip product this time around either because I change those up depending on my mood. Like, I'll just pick whatever from here, and I don't feel like, I mean, that Kiko lipstick I haven't used a single time, so there's really no point in me putting one in because I just won't use it. However, I'm putting in 3 mascaras. Whatever mascaras I put in my project pan, I always finish, so it's definitely worth my while putting some of these in. I have now finished all of my non-cruelty free mascaras, so I'm just again picking ones that have been in my collection the longest. The e.l.f. Big Mood, if I want big, thick, dramatic lashes, this is the one that I will go for. Then I've got the Relove Long Lash Lengthening Mascara. If I want long lashes, if I want lengthened lashes, fluttery, sort of very natural looking, this is the one that I'll go for. And then honestly, can't remember what I think of this one. I've just picked it up because I know that I've had it quite a while. This is the BH Cosmetics Feathered Lash Lift and Lengthen. It's a natural bristled wand, so I don't know. Let's see what I think of that in a couple of months. Hopefully I will film an update with this, with all of these products, and hopefully a lot of them will be empty. I feel like I've really made a lot of progress with my project pan, and especially this time around, like leading up to this point, I feel like I've definitely gotten more into the swing of, instead of picking a new everything every day, which is what I always used to do, I have just been picking up this little carton and just using whatever products I've got in here, rather than going through my drawers and getting a foundation and getting a concealer and a bronzer and I have been focusing more on the products that I have out on my table. I always leave this out on my table, so these are the products that I'm focusing on in the next couple of months. Do let me know if you're doing a project pan as well. I hope yours is going as positively as mine is. I feel like I shouldn't call it a project pan because definitely still buying new products all of the time, but let me know, are you doing a project pan? Are you doing, somebody actually commented on one of my videos before saying that they were doing a, what did they call it, a project use up dribs and drabs or something like that, and I absolutely love that. That's exactly what I am doing. I'm using up the dribs and the drabs from my collection, and also simultaneously just trying to get rid of everything that is not cruelty free. So I am done. I am going to go and reheat my coffee because that is cold. Probably go and make myself a sandwich. I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you like this video and if you like cruelty-free, affordable makeup reviews, I would love it if you join our little family. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a big thumbs down if you didn't. Either way, it helps me out a ton. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye. Oh.